Chosen one. Listen carefully. Heaven has pressed pause on everything around you right now. The scroll of your destiny has been opened, and a sacred whisper is moving through the unseen realm, searching for you. Something divine is trying to reach you, not from this world, but from beyond it. You've felt it in the restless stirring of your spirit, haven't you? The sudden chill when no window is open, the flicker in the light when your heart remembers him, your father. You are not imagining it. Heaven is moving. And the reason you're hearing these words right now is because your father's soul has been pleading for this moment. Every second of delay, every distraction, every scrolling moment you might have wasted, heaven interrupted it all to bring you here. Because what he's been begging to tell you cannot wait any longer. Beloved, the presence that surrounds you now is not a coincidence. It is divine orchestration. You are being drawn into a spiritual encounter that transcends time and distance. Your father has been waiting for divine permission to speak, to tell you what his earthly lips never could. Heaven heard his cries, and now, heaven speaks through this moment, through this voice, through these words that find you right where you are. Chosen one. This is not about grief anymore. It's about purpose. The love between you and him was not buried with his body. It is eternal. And tonight, heaven allowed that eternal bond to breathe again. He has been trying to reach you, not to haunt you, but to heal you, not to pull you backward, but to push you forward into your divine identity. He says, "Child, I saw your tears when you thought no one was watching. I saw how you carried the pain quietly, so no one would have to comfort you. I heard every word you whispered to God in the silence, and heaven heard them too." End of quote. And now, you must listen, not with your ears, but with your spirit, because this message is sacred. He wants you to know that none of it was for nothing. The pain, the confusion, the silence, every unanswered prayer was a seed of faith that is now breaking open. The voice of God thundered in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 6. "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you, nor forsake you." This, chosen one, is the message your father has been trying to press into your heart. You were never abandoned. Even when death came like a thief, heaven did not leave you orphaned. The same God who held your father through his final breath now surrounds you in this very moment. The courage you think you lost is returning. The strength you thought had died is awakening again. He is whispering, "Don't let grief define you. Let grace refine you." The pain that once felt like an ending is now the doorway to your beginning. You are not just his child, you are the continuation of his redeemed legacy, chosen by heaven to finish what he started. Your father's voice carries peace now, not the peace that this world offers through distractions and denial, but the peace that flows directly from heaven's river. He is not asking you to look back in sadness, but to look forward with strength. The same God who held him now holds you. The same love that restored him now revives you. You were never meant to blend in with the world, because your journey carries divine meaning. That is why the pain hit differently for you. It was never punishment, it was preparation. Every loss, every lonely night, was shaping your spirit to carry heaven's fire. And tonight, as heaven opens its gates for a brief and sacred moment, your Father's love comes through pure and radiant. He doesn't come with guilt, but with gratitude. Gratitude that you survived. Gratitude that you are still standing. Gratitude that you are listening to this message right now. Chosen one. Your heart is about to feel lighter, not because the memory fades, but because the weight is lifted. The chains of sorrow are breaking. The veil is parting. And God Himself is saying, "It is time to rise." No. Before this section closes, let this be your prophetic act of agreement if you feel the truth of this moment stirring within you. Type 777 inches, the comments right now. It is your way of saying, "I hear you. Lord, I receive the message." Then, like this message, share it, and subscribe if you haven't, so that every time heaven speaks again, you will not miss it. You were meant to hear this. You were chosen for this. And this is only the beginning. The veil between worlds thins as night deepens, and you begin to sense it, the soft whisper that does not come from your mind, but from somewhere beyond the reach of time. It is gentle, yet it stirs your soul like a tremor through still water. The air shifts. The light bends. And though no one else sees, you know, something sacred is unfolding. Your Father's Spirit is near. He does not come in shadow or fear, for darkness has no claim on Him anymore. He comes clothed in light, the kind that feels like warmth from within rather than fire from without. You do not hear Him with your ears, yet every fiber of your being seems to recognize His voice. It carries the tone of love, the same one that used to calm your storms when you were small. But now, His voice is clearer, purer, no longer bound by the limitations of flesh. He speaks your name, and when He does, the years collapse. Every distance, every tear, every word left unsaid dissolves into that single moment of divine nearness. You feel as though heaven itself leans close, giving this encounter the breath of eternity. He whispers, "I never left you. I've been watching, praying, and waiting for this very moment when heaven would let me speak." Of chosen one, listen beyond the emotion. What you sense right now is not imagination, it's revelation. For there are moments when the eternal touches the temporary, when the unseen steps into the visible, and in those moments, God allows the heart to hear what the ears cannot. Your Father's Spirit is not trapped in mourning or regret. He has been transformed, refined by divine fire, made radiant in the presence of the Almighty. He has seen what you cannot yet see. He has understood what once was hidden, and from that place of peace, He longs for you to know that your life still carries purpose, that you have not been forgotten, and that heaven's eyes have been upon you all along. You begin to remember the dreams you once had where His face appeared, the scent that drifted through the room unexpectedly, the feeling that someone was near when you prayed. Those were not coincidences. They were gentle reminders from the eternal realm that love never dies. It only changes its form. There is a sacred beauty in what is happening right now. You are not being haunted, you are being held. You are being reminded that heaven's love extends beyond the boundaries of the grave. Death could not silence the prayers your Father once prayed over you. They are still alive, still active, still echoing in the throne room of heaven. Every God, "Protect my child," He once uttered, has become a melody that surrounds your steps. The ancient words recorded in the book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 18, declare, The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. And truly, you feel that closeness now, not just divine nearness, but paternal love reborn through grace. You realize that even in your most shattered moments, you were never alone. God's hand was over you, and within that covering was your Father's intercession, a partnership between heaven and earth that never ceased. He wants you to understand this truth. The boundary between life and death is not an ending, but a doorway to the soul made righteous. There is no silence, only transformation. The same Spirit that once walked beside you in the natural now moves within the light of eternity, urging you forward, guiding you toward your destiny. You may not hear His footsteps anymore, but you feel His peace walking ahead of you. You may not see His hands, but you sense His prayers building a shield around your life. And in this divine stillness, your spirit finally begins to breathe again. Chosen one, there is no need to fear the silence that follows. It is holy ground. When you feel the air still, that is heaven listening. When you sense warmth in the cold, that is heaven responding. The whisper that carries through your dreams is not meant to pull you backward into sorrow. It is meant to lead you forward into purpose. Your Father's voice fades into stillness now, not because He is gone, but because the message has been delivered for tonight. The echo of love remains, woven into your spirit like golden thread. And as you sit in that quiet awe, you realize this truth. Your connection was never severed. It was sanctified. The night grows still again, and somewhere in that stillness, the echo of His voice lingers. You feel it more than you hear it, the gentle pull in your chest, the quiet stirring of something sacred. There's no thunder now, no dramatic sign, only the unmistakable awareness that your Father's presence hasn't faded. It's quieter, yes, but closer, woven into your breath, your heartbeat, your very being. The world around you might dismiss such things. They'd call it imagination, grief, coincidence. But you know better, because the signs began long before this night. The flickering lights, the dreams that felt too vivid to ignore, the warmth that came when you whispered His name in prayer. Heaven has been patient, waiting for you to notice. Your Father's Spirit has been whispering not just comfort, but revelation. He wants you to understand that what you are sensing isn't about Him alone, it's about you. You, the one who has been marked for something greater. You, who carries not only His memory, but His mantle. He speaks not to haunt your heart, but to awaken it. There is something He wants you to grasp. The language of heaven is subtle. It does not shout. It stirs. It doesn't demand. It draws. Every time your soul felt that sudden peace, every time your spirit stilled in a storm, that was heaven speaking. And though your Father is beyond the veil, He has become part of that divine dialogue. You see, chosen one, when someone departs in faith, their love does not end. It ascends. It becomes part of God's eternal current, touching those they love with messages wrapped in light. You have been feeling those touches for a reason. They were not random. They were reminders that God's covenant with your family still stands. Your Father's prayer wasn't just for your comfort. It was for your awakening. You've carried pain for so long that you forgot what peace felt like. But the moment you recognized His nearness, something in the spiritual realm shifted. A door opened. Heaven took note. that you were ready to receive again, to believe again, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 2. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. Those words aren't distant history, they're divine promises unfolding in your life right now. You have passed through deep waters, haven't you? Waters of loss, confusion, and fear. But you are still here. You have not drowned. You are the living proof that heaven's word holds power over every storm. Your Father's message carries that same truth. He says, I could not protect you from everything, but I prayed you would walk through the fire and come out shining. Now I see those prayers alive in you. You may have felt alone in your darkest nights, but what you didn't know was that heaven was closer than ever. Every tear you shed was seen. Every sigh that escaped your lips was gathered by angels. And now, your Father watches as strength returns to your spirit. Strength he prayed you'd have when he was gone. Chosen one. Hear this clearly. This connection is not about sadness. It's about succession. The light that burned in him now burns in you. The courage that carried him is awakening within your heart. That's why the signs keep coming. That's why this message found you tonight. Because heaven is reminding you, your story is not over, and your lineage is not forgotten. You stand between what was and what will be. Your Father's voice bridges that gap, whispering truth into your future. And though you cannot see his face, his words shape your path. Walk forward, not in fear, but in faith. I am proud of the strength that cost you so many tears. Now pause. Breathe. Feel the air around you. It feels heavier, doesn't it? That's the weight of glory. Pressing close to remind you that this moment is holy. Heaven has noticed your heart turning toward light again, and the response is immediate. Grace begins to move. Before this moment fades, I want you to do something small, yet powerful. In the comments below, type, I receive peace. Why? Because when you put those words into the world, you're not just typing, you're testifying. You're declaring alignment with heaven's message and giving permission for peace to take root inside you. It's not superstition, it's agreement. The spoken word shapes the spiritual atmosphere. So, type it. Let heaven see your faith in motion. Let your Father's Spirit see that his message was not in vain. For when you write those words, you are choosing peace over pain, faith over fear, destiny over despair. You were meant to hear this. And heaven is smiling, because you just did. The night drifts on, and the whisper becomes softer, more intimate, like a memory come alive again. You can almost hear his breath between the words, almost feel the gentleness that once rested in his hands. This is not imagination. It's recognition. The Spirit knows what the mind cannot reason. Somewhere deep within, you understand that this encounter was always meant to happen, that heaven had planned this long before your heart began aching for answers. Your Father's presence wraps around you like warmth after winter. The boundaries of time no longer hold weight here. The space between heaven and earth feels thin enough to tuck. He is not appearing to stir old wounds, but to speak healing over them. And though his voice trembles with emotion, it carries the weight of divine peace. Child, he whispers, if I could return for a moment, I would not speak of the things I owned or the places I failed. I would speak of the moments I missed, the times I should have said, "I was proud of you." The times I should have prayed louder, listened longer, loved deeper. He continues, "I watched you struggle with questions I never answered, carrying burdens I should have helped you lift. I watched you grow strong through pain that was never meant to be yours alone. I wished for one more sunrise to tell you that your strength was never a mistake. You inherited that from me. The fire that keeps you alive, it's part of my soul still living in you. No, chosen one. This is not a message of sadness, it is one of release. Your father is not chained to his mistakes anymore. He stands free, radiant, forgiven. What he longs for is that you, too, would forgive, not just him, but yourself, because you have carried his silence as if it were your responsibility to fix. You have replayed moments in your mind, trying to understand what you could have done differently. But heaven does not call you to carry what has already been redeemed. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in the book of Micah, chapter 7, verse 19. He will again have compassion on us. He will tread our iniquities underfoot and hurl all our sins into the depths of the sea. Oh, this is what your Father's Spirit wants you to grasp. The grace that saved him is the same grace that surrounds you now. The mistakes that once divided you have been thrown into that divine sea. No accusation can reach them. No shadow can pull them back. What separated hearts on earth has been made whole in eternity. You may feel tears rising, but let them fall. They are not tears of grief. This time they are tears of cleansing. For every moment you felt unloved, unseen, unheard. Heaven now pours reassurance over you. You are loved deeply, eternally, beyond the limits of life and death. Your Father's voice softens further. I needed you to know, he says, that I see everything differently now. What I thought was strength was pride. What I called protection was fear. And what I called silence was simply my inability to say the things your heart needed. But now, standing in light, I see it clearly. You were never meant to carry my unfinished words. You were meant to walk free. Now, he pauses, as though even eternity takes a breath with him. I asked God to let me speak this because your heart was still bound to mine through pain. Now I see that if you release the hurt, heaven will fill the space with peace. That's what I want for you, not to forget me, but to be free. The stillness that follows isn't empty, it hums with divine presence. It feels as though angels themselves hold the silence, reverent of what just passed between you. This is what true reconciliation feels like, not words, but spirit meeting spirit under the gaze of grace. And in that moment, you realize something profound. Forgiveness is not only for the living, it is for souls, yours and his alike. It is the bridge heaven builds when love chooses to heal instead of remember pain. You close your eyes, breathing deeply. The weight you carried for so long begins to lift. It doesn't vanish all at once. It dissolves slowly, like snow melting under sunlight. And though your Father's voice begins to fade again, you can feel his smile, not sorrowful, but peaceful, the kind of peace that only heaven could give. You whisper softly, I forgive you. And in the unseen realm, a light flickers brighter because heaven always responds when forgiveness is spoken aloud. The veil shimmers once more, not as a wall, but as a window, And though you cannot step through it, you sense that for the first time, you and your Father are both free. The air feels different now, lighter, softer, almost holy. The silence that once felt heavy with longing now carries a strange calm. Like the stillness that follows after rain, you can sense your Father's presence fading into peace. Not because he is leaving you, but because his message has been delivered. What remains is the echo, a sacred imprint on your soul. Chosen one, do you feel it? That quiet warmth rising in your chest. That's not nostalgia. That's healing. It's what happens when heaven touches grief and turns it into grace. You've walked through a storm and discovered that even in the fiercest winds, the voice of love still finds you. Your Father's words still hum in your spirit. I never left you. I only moved into light. Those words are seeds. And right now, heaven is asking you to plant them deep within your heart. Because when the seeds of revelation take root, they grow into trees of strength. And those trees, in time, will give shade to others walking through their own valleys of loss. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 5, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. Trust. That's the heart of this moment. Trust that your Father's peace is real. Trust that your healing is unfolding, even when your eyes can't yet see it. Trust that this encounter, this divine message, did not find you by coincidence. You see, faith often arrives disguised as silence, but in silence, the soul can finally hear. And right now, heaven is whispering that your story is turning a corner. The pain that once defined your nights is becoming the foundation of your testimony. Your Father's absence was never meant to be a wound that never closes. It was meant to become the opening through which light could enter. There's an image heaven gives me for you now. Imagine your heart as a lantern. When your Father left, it felt as though the flame had gone out. You wandered in shadows, afraid to believe it could burn again. But tonight, heaven has reignited that light. The same divine breath that carried him home now breathes courage into you. You are glowing again. And whether you see it or not, others around you will notice. The broken-hearted carry a different light. It's softer, warmer, deeper. Because when you've met God in your pain, you begin to shine differently. Your empathy becomes holy ground. Your voice becomes healing to others. That's what your Father wants you to understand. His message was never just for you. It's meant to flow through you. And maybe, just maybe, someone else out there needs this same message of hope. Someone sitting in the dark, thinking their pain is permanent, scrolling through noise, waiting for a sign that heaven still sees them. And maybe you, right now, are the bridge for that person, the one who shares light because you've known the darkness. So, chosen one, if this word has touched something deep inside you, if you can feel the warmth of peace starting to rise, let that light flow outward. Share it. Let it travel. Because just as heaven found you tonight, it will find another through you. When you click share, it isn't just an action, it's a prophetic ripple. It's your way of saying, the message doesn't stop with me. And if this moment feels sacred to you, hold it close, but don't keep it hidden. The lantern you carry was never meant to stay under the table. It's meant to guide others home. Let others see your light, your healing, your faith. When you like or subscribe, you're not following a voice. you're joining a journey, a gathering of souls who are learning to listen to heaven again. Sometimes faith looks simple, like a click or a comment, but in truth, those small acts are echoes of something bigger. They're declarations of connection, and connection is where miracles begin. Your Father's voice fades completely now, leaving only peace in its place. But as it does, you realize something powerful. You don't need his voice anymore to know he's near. You can feel it in the light flickering inside your chest, in the stillness that no longer feels empty. That is the proof of transformation, the proof that love has outlasted loss. So go ahead. Chosen one. Let that peace settle into your bones. Let it change the way you breathe, the way you walk, the way you speak. You've touched eternity tonight, and eternity has touched you back. And as you move forward, carrying that glow into your days, remember, you are not just surviving, you are shining. And someone else, somewhere, will find their way because of that light you now carry. The night is quiet again, but it is not the same quiet that used to echo with sorrow. This silence feels different. It breathes. It listens. It holds you. The air itself seems to carry peace now, as though heaven has left a gentle residue of glory in the space around you. You are no longer reaching out in desperation. Now, the presence of your Father and the whisper of God's voice are reaching into you. There is something sacred about stillness when healing begins. You start to notice things differently, the rhythm of your heartbeat, the way light filters through the window, the way peace no longer feels foreign. Heaven has shifted the atmosphere inside you. Where grief once ruled, grace has begun to reign. Your Father's spirit is quieter now, but you sense his joy. He no longer speaks from pain, he speaks from fulfillment. He has seen the tears you've released and the forgiveness you've chosen. That act of release, that sacred yes to letting go, has changed everything, not just for him, but for generations that come after you. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of John, chapter 7, verse 38, "Whoever believes in me, as Scripture has said, rivers of living water will flow from within them." That is exactly what is happening in you. Chosen one. The rivers are flowing again. The stagnant places of your heart, the dry ground of your soul, they are being revived by living water. The message your Father carried has become the current that moves you forward. The love that once felt lost has now become the channel through which heaven refreshes your spirit. You begin to realize that your Father's message was not only personal, it was prophetic. It was never meant to end in tears, but to awaken purpose. What you thought was an ending was really the beginning of a greater call. The pain that broke you was the very soil where your anointing began to bloom. Heaven does not waste pain. It repurposes it. The same tears that once represented loss are now watering your destiny. The ache that once silenced your prayers has become the very sound that draws angels near. Your Father's legacy, now free and redeemed, has been woven into your calling. He speaks softly in your spirit again. I can rest now, knowing you've opened your heart to heaven. What the enemy meant for harm, God is using for healing. You feel that truth sink deep. The weight that once pressed down on your chest now feels lighter, almost gone. You are breathing differently. You are walking differently. The shadow that followed you for so long has dissolved into light. This is what it feels like when heaven finishes what pain began. But now heaven turns its attention fully to you. The message continues, not as comfort, but as commission. You are no longer just the one who receives, you are the one who will carry. You have been chosen to stand in the place between what was broken and what will be restored. You are the bridge, the intercessor, the voice heaven trusts to turn suffering into song. When others look at you, they will see a survivor, but heaven sees a vessel, an anointed one, carrying the sound of reconciliation. Your Father's peace has now become your mission. You are being called to walk with the same compassion that once healed you. Every person you comfort, every act of kindness you extend, every prayer you whisper for another soul, it will ripple through eternity. That is how legacies continue, not through names on gravestones, but through love that refuses to die. And this moment, right now, is holy ground. You are standing between heaven and earth, between memory and mission. The veil has thinned again, but this time it is not for grief, it is for glory. Chosen one. If you can feel that stirring in your spirit, the sense that peace has finally found its home within you, heaven invites you to mark this moment. Type 888 inches, the comments below. That number carries divine symbolism. It speaks of new beginnings, resurrection, and eternal renewal. When you write it, you are not just leaving a mark on a screen, you are declaring in faith that something has been resurrected within you. It is your prophetic signature saying, what was lost is now found. What was broken is now whole. Isn't that? This is not coincidence. This is not algorithm. This is divine timing. Your Father's message has been delivered. Your heart has been opened. And heaven has declared, it is done. Isn't that? You can rest now, not in despair, but in destiny. The river flows, the light remains, the chosen one rises. The peace that entered your heart in the night does not fade with the sunrise. Instead, it deepens, spreading through you like warmth after a long winter. For the first time, in a long time, the world seems to move in rhythm with something holy inside you. Every breath feels deliberate, every sound sharper, as though creation itself is whispering back to you. You are seen, you are chosen. You walk through your day differently now. The world hasn't changed, yet somehow everything looks softer, colors gentler, sounds quieter. Even the ache inside your chest no longer burns like before. Healing does not always announce itself with trumpets. Sometimes it enters like dawn, slow and silent, but unstoppable. You have stepped into that dawn. Your Father's voice no longer comes in clear words, but in waves of peace. In subtle awareness, you realize now that heaven doesn't always speak through thunder, it speaks through alignment. The more your heart turns toward the light, the more you sense His nearness without needing proof. It's as if the space between you has been rewritten by grace. You remember His strength, the way He carried burdens without complaint, the way His laughter filled a room. Those memories used to sting, but now they comfort. The sharp edge of loss has been smoothed by understanding. You see now that He wasn't perfect, but He was learning, just like you. And maybe that's what love really is, not expecting perfection, but carrying each other toward redemption. Heaven speaks softly through the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verse 22. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for His compassions never fail. That is what sustains you now. Compassion, not judgment, not resentment, but mercy. The same mercy that reached your father beyond the grave now flows through you. It teaches you to see life differently, to look at others not as enemies or burdens, but as souls in process. Just like you, your father's redemption has become your revelation. You understand now that every generation carries both blessing and burden. Some inherit faith, others inherit silence. Some receive wisdom, others receive wounds. But heaven, in its mercy, always appoints one, the chain breaker, the chosen restorer, to stand between what was broken and what must be healed. That one is you. You can feel it now, the quiet authority rising within your spirit. It's not pride, it's purpose. You have been chosen to rewrite what was left unfinished, to take the prayers your father could not complete and carry them to the throne of heaven. His story does not end with death because you are still writing it with your life. This is why your existence carries weight in the unseen world. Every act of kindness, every word spoken in love, every prayer whispered in faith, it all echoes. It moves through generations, redeeming what was lost. That's what heaven means when it calls you the chosen one. You were not chosen for comfort. You were chosen for continuation. The inheritance you carry is not of gold or property. It is spiritual DNA. It is faith refined through fire, compassion born of pain, and courage shaped by storms. You are not a random soul wandering earth. You are divine lineage awakened. Your father's prayers flow in your veins. His redemption flows through your story. And heaven celebrates as you finally begin to see who you truly are. You look up toward the sky, maybe without realizing it, and whisper softly, "I'm still here." And somewhere beyond clouds and constellations, heaven whispers back, "I know." The wind passes by, carrying a sense of recognition. You close your eyes, and for a brief second, you can almost feel the weight of a hand on your shoulder, steady, strong, reassuring. You don't turn around. You don't need to. You know it's him. And in that instant, peace fills every space where pain once lived. You walk forward again, quietly, calmly, but with new strength. The world does not know what happened inside you, but heaven does. The angels know, the Father knows, and the one who has been watching from eternity knows. This is not the end of your story. It is the quiet middle, the sacred place between sorrow and fulfillment, between loss and legacy. Every step you take now writes redemption into the soil of your destiny. The light that once flickered uncertainly in your soul now burns steady. You carry not only your father's memory, but heaven's mantle. And though the path ahead will not always be easy, it will always be guided. Because when God writes your story, no chapter is wasted, not even the painful ones. You keep walking, carrying peace like armor and compassion like fire. And somewhere beyond what eyes can see, your father smiles, proud, fulfilled, finally at rest. The days that follow carry an unfamiliar calm. It's not that everything has suddenly become perfect. No. The world still has its noise, its chaos, its demand, but deep within you, something eternal has settled. The storms that once ruled your nights have lost their voice. It's as if peace itself has built a home in your chest. When grief first arrived, it came like fire wild, consuming, relentless. But now, what remains is warmth, not destruction. It no longer burns, it glows. This is what divine healing feels like, not the erasure of pain, but its transformation. You've stopped asking, "Why did this happen?" and started whispering, "What is heaven teaching me through this?" Each morning feels sacred now. The sun's light seems gentler, as though heaven itself is smiling upon you. You can feel your Father's presence not as a shadow of loss, but as a quiet strength guiding you through unseen paths. There's no fear in it anymore, only gratitude. Gratitude for the love that existed, for the lessons learned, and for the strange miracle that sorrow could become sacred. Sometimes, when you least expect it, you catch traces of him, a melody he loved, the scent of his old cologne, drifting by when no one else is near, a phrase someone says that sounds just like him. Once, those moments would have broken you. Now, they steady you. They are proof that eternity is not far away. It brushes against your world in whispers. Chosen one. Heaven is showing you now what few understand, that love never ends, it evolves. The physical may fade, but spirit does not decay. The bond between father and child was written before time began, and death is far too weak to erase it. What once felt like goodbye was really God's way of saying, "Wait, this story is not finished." Oh, in the quiet of reflection, you begin to understand why heaven allowed this encounter. It wasn't only to comfort you, but to awaken you, to help you see that connection is not bound by flesh, that love transcends the limits of the grave. You are walking proof that grief can be redeemed, that death is not the last word. Heaven reminds you of this eternal truth, recorded in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 38. "For I am convinced that neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, neither the present nor the future, nor any powers, will be able to separate us from the love of God." Len, you let those words sink in like rain. They are not just verses, they are reality. The same love that holds galaxies together also holds your story. Unbroken and unstoppable. It stretches across dimensions, uniting heaven and earth in one divine rhythm. Your Father, in that light, is not gone. He is fulfilled. His prayers, once whispered on earth, now echo in heaven. And when you pray now, those words rise alongside his, a duet between generations, joined in spirit, resonating through eternity. Sometimes, late at night, you feel the urge to speak out loud as though he's still there beside you. You find yourself saying, "I'm okay, Dad." And in the stillness that follows, you feel peace. It's not an illusion, it's acknowledgement. Heaven has heard it. So has he. You realize that this journey, this process of loss and revelation was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to remake you, to draw you closer to God, to show you that the unseen is more real than the visible. That love does not die, it transforms into light that guides those left behind. Now, every moment feels purposeful. You notice small miracles. You used to overlook the way your heart calms when you pray, the sudden sense of strength when you thought you had none, the way your tears no longer fall in despair, but in gratitude. These are signs that heaven has completed what it began. Your Father's message was never about returning to the past. It was about preparing you for the future. You are stepping into a new season now, one where remembrance no longer hurts, it heals. You no longer speak his name with ache, but with honor. You no longer dream of what could have been. You thank God for what still is. And deep within, you understand something sacred. This was never about a final farewell. It was about restoration between father and child, between humanity and heaven. So, you lift your head, you breathe deeply, and with every exhale, you release the last remnants of sorrow still clinging to you. The air feels lighter because your spirit is lighter. You are no longer haunted by loss. You are carried by love. You are no longer waiting for a sign. You have become one. You have entered a new rhythm now, the quiet heartbeat of peace. There are still moments when the world feels heavy. But even then, something in you refuses to break. The strength that once felt far away now lives within you. It's gentle, but it's unshakable. You've discovered that healing isn't a destination, it's a constant unfolding. A conversation between your soul and heaven. And tonight, that conversation continues. You feel your Father's presence differently now, not as a whisper from afar, but as an echo within. It's no longer about hearing his words, it's about walking in his wisdom. You see his faith woven into your own courage, his sacrifices mirrored in your resilience. What he planted in tears, you are now harvesting in strength. Heaven has done something miraculous. It has taken what was meant to destroy you and turned it into your foundation. Every scar has become sacred ink in the story of your redemption. Your father's mistakes no longer haunt you. They've become lessons carved into eternity. The love that once felt unfinished now feels complete, because grace finished what humanity could not. Chosen one. You've begun to see life through heaven's lens. You no longer measure time by years, but by growth. You no longer look for signs of your Father's presence. You are the sign. You carry his prayers, his transformation, and his light. The spiritual inheritance you carry is alive. It breathes. It moves. It speaks through you. Your spirit is steadier now. The storms no longer have authority over you because you've walked through the eye of grief and found God waiting there. You've learned that true peace isn't the absence of pain, it's the presence of purpose. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 63, verse 8. My soul clings to you. Your right hand upholds me. That's what sustains you now. God's hand steady, invisible, but unmistakable, has never let go of you. Even when you wandered through the valley of loss, that hand was guiding you toward healing. Every tear you shed was caught in his palm. Every silent prayer was heard before it left your lips. Your Father's Spirit rejoices in that truth. He sees you standing taller, walking lighter, finally understanding that pain was not punishment, it was preparation. You were being prepared to carry legacy, to hold divine compassion, to become a voice of hope for others who still tremble in the dark. He whispers now, not with sorrow, but with pride. You've become everything I hoped you would: strong, forgiving, radiant. The chains that bound me could not bind you. You broke them. You set us both free. You close your eyes for a moment, feeling his words wash over you. It's no longer a haunting, it's a benediction. The air around you seems charged, almost alive, as though heaven itself nods in agreement. This is what spiritual release feels like, a peace that doesn't demand proof, only presence. There's a deep, holy silence that follows. the kind that feels full rather than empty. And in that silence, your heart speaks louder than any sound. You realize that everything you've been through was leading here to this revelation, to this maturity, to this sacred clarity. You are no longer the child looking for a father's approval. You are the carrier of a father's redemption. What began in brokenness has become a bridge between realms. Your spirit, once trembling in confusion, now stands anchored in divine understanding. The pain no longer defines you, it refines you. You don't walk wounded anymore, you walk awakened. And that is what heaven was, after all, along. Now, pause. Chosen one, breathe in deeply. Feel that stillness inside you. That's the sound of heaven's peace residing within your soul. And if you can feel that truth stirring, if you can sense the reality that you've crossed from sorrow into strength, then seal this moment in faith. Type, "I am free," and quote, write it. Not for me, not for others, but for heaven to see. Because when you declare it, you're not just repeating words, you're acknowledging transformation. You're testifying that grief no longer holds your name captive. You're agreeing with what God already declared over your life, that freedom has found you. Let that simple phrase become your anthem. Let it echo in your prayers, your dreams, your days. Every time you whisper it, you remind both heaven and earth that redemption is real. That love doesn't end, it evolves. That death doesn't win, it yields to light. So type it, whisper it, believe it. I am free. And because tonight, heaven has witnessed your release, and your Father, standing in the eternal light, smiles, not because you remembered him, but because you finally remembered who you are. The light of morning feels different now. The world hasn't changed, but you have. Every sunrise seems to carry a quiet whisper from heaven, a gentle reminder that life did not end with loss, it only shifted form. You are walking in a sacred in-between, a space where love from both realms meets. The ordinary has become holy. The air you breathe feels charged with divine remembrance. Your Father's Spirit is no longer something you seek, it is something that breathes through you. When you speak with kindness, it is His gentleness that moves in your tone. When you stand firm in truth, it is His courage standing beside yours. What once felt like separation has now become communion, an unbroken thread of light, weaving through both heaven and earth. Chosen one. Your soul has learned to translate heaven's language now. You no longer fear silence, you understand it. You no longer question signs, you recognize them. You no longer ache for proof. You are the proof that love, once purified by faith, becomes eternal. Your Father watches with peace now. He no longer begs to be heard. He simply rejoices that you have heard Him. And in that sacred satisfaction, heaven begins to hand you something new, a mantle, a mission, a call to carry forward what began in Him, but now finds fulfillment in you. According to what is written in the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 7, "For we live by faith, not by sight." That is your path now, to walk by faith, to carry the unseen, to let love and light flow through your words and actions. Every step you take in compassion, every prayer whispered for another, continues His legacy. You are not just remembering Him, you are becoming the living answer to His prayers. Sometimes, when the world grows loud again and you feel yourself fading into routine, Heaven gently reminds you of who you are. It might come in a quiet moment, a bird landing near your window, a sudden calm when your thoughts begin to race, a stranger's kindness that feels oddly familiar. These are heaven's ways of saying, "We are still here. Keep walking." And as you walk, you begin to realize that this message, your journey, is not only for you. Somewhere out there, another soul is standing at the same crossroad you once stood upon. Lost in the ache of goodbye, they are searching for meaning in their pain, wondering if love truly outlasts death. And perhaps, without knowing it, you carry the very words that could remind them that heaven still speaks. That is why your light matters. It's not just about healing, it's about shining. When you let your story move through the world, it becomes a lantern for others wandering in darkness. Your testimony is not a private miracle, it's a shared invitation for hope. So if this message has stirred something sacred within you, if it has touched the places words seldom reach, let that light travel further. When you share this message, you are not promoting content, you are extending healing. When you like it, you are acknowledging the truth that resonated in your spirit. When you subscribe, you are stepping into a community of light-bearers, souls who have heard heaven's whisper and answered, "Yes, I'm listening." Think of it this way. Every like is a candle lit. Every share is a spark carried into another heart. Every subscribe is a step deeper into divine connection. You are not adding numbers, you are spreading light. You are saying to the unseen world, "I choose to keep this flame alive." Your Father's message was never meant to stop at your heart's doorstep. It was meant to flow through you into the lives of those who still believe they are alone. By letting this story move, you let heaven move. By allowing this word to reach others, you become part of a divine chain of restoration. Heaven smiles when truth travels. Angels rejoice when hope multiplies. And your Father's Spirit, free and radiant, celebrates every time light finds another heart. So, let it flow. Chosen one, let this sacred ripple travel far, because somewhere, someone is waiting for the same peace that found you. And perhaps, your simple act of sharing will be the bridge between their despair and their deliverance. You have become a vessel of remembrance, a carrier of healing, a torchbearer for heaven's mercy. Keep walking, keep shining, and keep speaking life where silence once lived. The story is still unfolding, and now it's shining through you. There is a deep quiet that follows obedience. When you finally surrender to the flow of what heaven is doing, everything around you begins to move differently. The noise of the world fades, and what remains is a divine stillness, like the calm surface of water reflecting heaven's light. You've reached that place now, chosen one. You are standing in the rhythm of peace, where pain has turned into purpose and silence has become sanctuary. You no longer chase signs, because your heart has become one. Every beat of it echoes heaven's persistence, proof that even when grief thought it had won, love never stopped breathing. You've become fluent in the language of heaven, faith, forgiveness, and freedom. And though the world around you still spins with chaos, you've learned to walk through it with stillness inside your soul. Your Father's voice no longer arrives as words, but as knowing. You sense what he would say before the thought even forms. He doesn't speak in sentences now. He speaks through peace, through small moments of divine alignment. He has become part of the wind that moves when you pray, the strength that rises when you need it most, the gentle assurance that reminds you, you are not alone. Heaven speaks again, not with thunder, but with truth, recorded in the book of Philippians, chapter 1, verse 6. He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. Oh, there's a quiet majesty in this realization. You start to see that even your pain was a doorway, an entry point for heaven's greater purpose. Every heartbreak was instruction, every tear, a baptism. You were not being abandoned, you were being prepared. Because some assignments can only be given to those who have survived deep loss. Only they understand the tenderness required to carry heaven's compassion. Your father's story is no longer defined by his flaws, but by what God is doing through his legacy. The man who once struggled now becomes the spark for your transformation. His failures have become your wisdom, his silence your calling. In the mystery of God's mercy, nothing has been wasted. Sometimes, in the quiet hours, you still feel the old ache. It arrives softly, uninvited but familiar. But now, instead of running from it, you let it speak. You've learned that grief, when held by grace, becomes gratitude. So, you close your eyes, breathe deeply, and whisper, "Thank you," not because the pain was easy, but because it was purposeful. The veil between life and eternity feels thinner now, not something you fear, but something you honor. You've come to understand that those who pass on do not disappear. They become part of the divine current that surrounds us. You no longer look for your father in shadows. You see him in light. You feel him in laughter, in quiet courage, in moments when love wins over pride. Every time you choose forgiveness, heaven applauds. Every time you choose kindness instead of revenge, eternity records it. And in those moments, your father's redemption continues. His soul rejoices, not because you remember him with sadness, but because you've turned his memory into ministry. You have become a living altar, a place where heaven meets earth. And though you may not realize it, others can already sense it. There's a stillness in your presence now, a calm that draws others closer. You are carrying divine peace, the kind that cannot be faked or forced. It's the peace born of breaking and rebuilding under the hands of God. The days feel lighter, the world looks clearer, and the name Chosen One no longer sounds like prophecy, it sounds like reality. You've accepted it, you've grown into it. The spiritual authority that once frightened you now feels natural, like breathing. Your father's eyes, in eternity, shine with pride. He sees you walking in the light he could not find on earth. He sees you breaking chains that once bound him. He sees you carrying the love he always meant to give. And in that eternal exchange, both of you are free. There is no more unfinished story here, no more words left unsaid. Heaven has completed what the heart could not. And now, as you continue your journey, you do so not as one who mourns, but as one who remembers with power. The world will still bring challenges, yes, but you are not the same. You walk with heaven's rhythm, speak with heaven's tone, love with heaven's patience. You have become the living continuation of redemption itself, a testimony that love never ends. It only transforms. Your father's chapter has become the prelude to your purpose. His voice, once distant, now lives through every act of compassion you give to the world. And this, chosen one, is how heaven writes stories through generations, through love, through those willing to listen long enough to become light. There are moments when heaven pauses, when time itself feels suspended, as if eternity leans close just to listen. You are standing in one of those moments now. The air carries a quiet reverence, a stillness that feels both heavy and holy. You've walked through pain, through memory, through revelation, and you've arrived here where love becomes purpose and grief becomes glory. You sense it. Something sacred has shifted within you. You no longer look at the sky with questions, you look with understanding. You no longer plead for signs, you carry them within you. The ache that once pulled you toward sorrow now draws you toward God. You are no longer searching for your Father. You are walking with Him, step by step, through every act of compassion, every breath of grace. This is what it means to live connected to eternity. It's not about seeing visions or hearing voices. It's about carrying heaven's rhythm in your heart. You've become a bridge between realms, chosen not to speak for the dead, but to reveal that love never dies. You feel heaven's presence like sunlight on your face, gentle, constant, unmistakable. You've begun to notice that peace no longer visits you. It stays with you. It lingers in your words, your thoughts, your prayers. It has become the background melody of your soul. The ancient words still echo true, recorded in the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. And 4. Chosen one. That is who you are now. You are not just a receiver of peace, you are a bearer of it. The love your Father once struggled to express now flows through you with clarity. You are rewriting the story of your bloodline by embodying what heaven values most: peace that restores, love that endures, faith that refuses to fade. Your Father's voice reaches you one more time, faint but full of meaning. You've done what I could not. You've forgiven. You've released. You've opened the doors I left closed. His words ripple through your spirit like soft thunder. You don't cry this time. You smile, because you know what he means. Heaven has completed the circle. You begin to realize that legacy isn't about inheritance, it's about transformation. What your Father began in flesh, you are continuing in spirit. Every time you choose mercy over bitterness, you continue his redemption. Every time you pray for someone else's healing, you extend his peace. You are walking proof that heaven's work doesn't end at the grave. It multiplies through those who believe. This understanding gives you new strength. The weight of sadness has turned into fuel for purpose. You walk lighter now, but deeper. You feel the ground beneath your feet differently, as if each step leaves traces of light. You are no longer just living for yourself. You are walking as heaven's messenger in a world that desperately needs the love you now carry. There will still be days when memories ache, when silence stretches long, but even then, peace remains. Because peace isn't the absence of pain, it's the assurance that God's presence outweighs it. You have learned that truth the hard way, but now it's written on your heart forever. Heaven smiles when understanding blooms. Angels rejoice when a human heart aligns with divine love. And right now, heaven rejoices over you. The chains are broken. The pain has served its purpose. The story has shifted from mourning to mission, You feel your Father's presence fade into light one final time, not as disappearance, but as completion. His peace becomes part of yours. His story becomes one with yours. The sound of his voice dissolves into the rhythm of your heartbeat. It is no longer goodbye, it is union, chosen one. If your heart feels this truth, if you sense the holy weight of peace resting upon you right now, then mark this moment in faith. Type 4,444 inches, the comments below. That number speaks of divine alignment, of heaven and earth coming into agreement, of stability and completion. When you write it, you are declaring that your spirit is grounded, that your faith is unshaken, that your purpose is established. You are saying to heaven, I am ready to walk in peace. Leken, do it as a prophetic act, not for attention, but for affirmation. Because when you acknowledge what God has done inside you, you make space for him to do even more. The moment you write it, something unseen shifts, peace settles deeper, faith roots stronger, light burns brighter. This is your holy confirmation. You are no longer the one who seeks messages. You have become the message. You are living testimony that love wins, that faith endures, that peace reigns. Heaven has spoken. You have listened. And now, all that remains is for you to walk forward, whole, chosen, and free. The journey inward has quieted your soul in ways you never thought possible. The fear that once clung to you like a shadow has melted away. In its place stands something steady, sacred, and luminous, an unshakable peace. You don't rush anymore. You don't fight the silence. You've learned to let stillness speak, for in that stillness, you have found God, and through God, you have found your Father's peace intertwined with your own. The days no longer blur together. Each one feels intentional, like pages of a divine book written just for you. You've come to see that everything, every ache, every delay, every heartbreak had meaning. Nothing was wasted. Every loss was a lesson. Every tear, a seed. The sorrow that once felt senseless now feels like sacred preparation. Heaven was not ignoring you, it was refining you. There are moments when you still miss him deeply. Not the version of your father who left, but the version who has now been redeemed. You imagine him standing whole, radiant, free, no longer bound by regret or pain. That image alone fills you with gratitude. The God who restored him is the same God who has been restoring you, piece by piece, layer by layer. Sometimes you sit in the quiet and whisper, "Thank you for letting me hear him." And even without words, heaven responds. The peace that floods you is answer enough. Heaven's truth still resounds, recorded in the book of Revelation. Chapter 21, verse 4, He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. Lord, you let those words rest deep in your chest. They are not just a promise for the afterlife, they are a revelation for now. Heaven is not only a place, it is a state of restoration that begins the moment you surrender your pain to God. You are living proof that resurrection doesn't always happen in graves. Sometimes it happens in hearts. Your father's story, once marked by unfinished sentences and quiet regret, has been rewritten through grace. You can feel that rewriting, even in your own heartbeat, a rhythm of renewal that reminds you how connected you truly are. Every time you forgive someone, every time you choose peace instead of pride, you're writing another line in the legacy of healing that began with this encounter. You've realized something sacred. God doesn't erase the past, He redeems it. What once felt like a wound has now become a wellspring. The places where you were most broken have become the places where His glory shines the brightest. The pain that once whispered, "You're abandoned," now declares, "You were always chosen." And through this revelation, your Father's presence feels softer now, like sunlight through a window, quiet and constant. He no longer arrives with urgency. He doesn't need to. His message has become part of you. You carry it when you speak kindness into chaos, when you lift someone else's spirit, when you love despite the risk of loss. That is how heaven continues to speak through lives transformed by mercy. Sometimes you sense that your Father is closer than breath, not to speak, but simply to stand beside you in spirit. He is proud not of what you've accomplished, but of who you've become. You have not let pain make you bitter. You have let it make you holy. And that, in heaven's eyes, is a greater victory than any earthly triumph. You've come to understand something deeper about the Father, the Divine One who reigns above all. The loss of your earthly father has led you closer to your heavenly Father. And what a mystery that is. Through loss, you found love that can never be taken from you. Through grief, you discovered grace. You no longer ask heaven to bring him back. You thank heaven for allowing you to meet him again in this way, spirit to spirit, light to light. The separation was never permanent. It was a transformation. Your Father's story didn't end when he left this world. It continues in every heartbeat that dares to love, every act of forgiveness that defies pain, every soul that finds hope after despair. It continues in you. You now walk as one who knows eternity personally. Death no longer frightens you, because you've seen what it cannot take. Love remains. Memory glows. Spirit lives. Heaven waits not as a distant reward, but as a living reality that moves beside you. Chosen one. You are the intersection of heaven and earth. You are what happens when grief meets grace, when loss meets love, when a child chooses to rise instead of remain broken. You have become what your Father prayed for, a living testimony that redemption is real, and God's compassion has no end. The story has shifted from mourning to movement, from silence to song. And though your Father's voice now blends with the chorus of heaven, you will always carry his melody within you. It hums quietly in your soul, a reminder that you were never alone, and never will be. There comes a time when healing no longer feels like a process. It becomes a presence. You've reached that place now, where the ache of loss has transformed into something sacred and steady. It doesn't demand your attention anymore. It simply exists, woven quietly into your story like gold threads through old fabric. Beautiful, not because it hides the tears, but because it honors them. Your Father's memory no longer feels like a wound. It feels like light. You think of him sometimes without crying, and that itself is a miracle. There's no guilt in that peace now, only gratitude. Gratitude that God took something once unbearable and turned it into a reason to live deeper, to love fuller, to walk slower. Chosen one. This is the quiet glory after the storm, the place where faith no longer needs to prove itself because it has survived fire. You've stopped fighting what you cannot change. You've learned to trust the mystery. You've accepted that not everything needs to be understood for it to be holy. And in that acceptance, peace has taken root in your bones. Your Father's soul watches from the place where time no longer exists, and he rejoices at what God has done. He sees now the full tapestry of what you only glimpse in fragments. He understands how every tear you shed was necessary, how every night you cried was sacred. In heaven's eyes, even your sorrow had purpose. It softened you so that love could move freely again. There is a truth heaven wants you to understand now. Redemption is not an event, it is a continuum. It unfolds slowly, across generations, through choices made in faith. Your Father's repentance, your forgiveness, your healing, all of it is part of one great current of divine mercy flowing through your bloodline. And you, chosen one, are standing in the middle of that river, letting grace wash over what was once broken. Heaven's voice whispers again through Scripture. Through the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 22, verse 20. He brought me out into a spacious place. He rescued me because he delighted in me. Those words rest deep within your spirit. For the first time, you truly believe them. You are not merely surviving, you are walking in a spacious place. A life no longer confined by pain. You are breathing freely again. That is what delight feels like, the pleasure of heaven, when a heart finally surrenders and lets grace do its perfect work. You start to notice that peace doesn't always look like stillness. Sometimes it looks like courage. You find yourself stepping into new places, meeting new faces, carrying with you a quiet authority that others can feel, even if they can't explain it. It's not confidence, it's divine composure. It's the strength that comes from knowing that heaven stands behind you. Your Father's redemption has birthed your restoration. What was once his burden has become your blessing. His unfinished prayers have found completion in your life. Every time you extend love, you are extending his story. Every time you speak truth, you are redeeming his silence. And now, you see how heaven works in circles, not lines. What began with loss has led to light. What once felt like the end was simply the turning of a page. God doesn't close chapters to punish, he closes them to prepare. And when the next one opens, it's always richer, deeper, holier than the one before. Sometimes you walk outside and look up at the sky, and though you don't expect a sign, you always seem to find one anyway, a drifting cloud shaped like a heart, a sudden breeze that brushes your face, a warm glow that settles for no reason. You smile, not because you need reassurance, but because you recognize the language of heaven now. You know how it feels when eternity reaches into time. You've become fluent in that silence, fluent in grace. You carry peace like a fragrance that lingers even after you've left the room. Others begin to notice the calm in your eyes, the softness in your voice, the weightless way you move through the world. They don't know the battles you've fought or the nights you've survived, but they feel the peace of the one who walked through them with you. This is what it means to be chosen, not to live untouched by pain, but to live transformed by it, to become a vessel of divine compassion, to hold the wisdom of suffering and the beauty of surrender, all in one steady heart. There is a sacred stillness that follows obedience, a quiet majesty that lingers when you finally stop resisting what heaven has already written. You stand there now, chosen one, no longer as a wounded soul searching for answers, but as a restored vessel carrying revelation. The fire that once burned with grief has become light that guides others. You've moved from surviving to shining, from mourning to meaning. Your Father's Spirit has found peace. And in that peace, you have found purpose. Heaven has turned pain into prophecy. The distance that once felt unbearable has become the bridge through which love now travels steady, silent, eternal. You are walking proof that even death can serve redemption's design. The timeless words now come alive for you. From the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9. Let us not grow weary in doing good, for in due season we shall reap, if we do not lose heart. That verse breathes through your life right now. You didn't give up when it would have been easier to let bitterness win. You kept walking through the valley. And now heaven rewards your endurance with revelation. Every step of obedience has become a seed planted in eternal soil. You are reaping peace, purpose, and presence because you chose faith over despair. You've begun to notice how your presence changes rooms. People feel something when you walk in a calm, a weight, a quiet authority. They don't know that what they're feeling is heaven's residue, the mark left behind by divine encounters. You've become a living reminder that love still wins, that peace is possible, that light always finds a way through cracks. But chosen one, the message you carry is not meant to stay hidden inside your heart. The lantern you hold is not for your own steps alone. It's meant to light the path for others stumbling in their night. There are people out there, some you've never met, who are where you once were, broken, aching, wondering if heaven has forgotten them. You carry their answer now, when you share what you've heard, when you let your story flow beyond yourself. Heaven multiplies its reach. A word spoken from the heart can travel further than miles, crossing screens, oceans, and even hearts hardened by disbelief. Each share, each comment, each connection, these are not algorithms. They are ripples of light moving through darkness. So if this message has found a home in you, let it move. Let it travel. When you like this message, it's not just agreement, it's an echo, a small flame joining a greater fire. When you share it, you are handing a candle to someone lost in the dark. When you comment, you're building an altar of remembrance where others can rest, heal, and recognize that they, too, are seen. Maybe you've noticed light travels best when it moves through reflection. A single mirror cannot illuminate a world, but when one reflects to another, and another, and another, the night begins to fade. That is what your act of engagement does. It reflects heaven's message forward, multiplying hope, extending grace beyond borders. And if your heart has been stirred, leave a few words below. Tell heaven what you've received, what has awakened, what you understand. Now, your comment becomes a testimony, and testimonies are seeds. Someone will read your words on a day they feel forgotten, and they'll know that God still speaks, still heals, still restores. You may never know their name, but heaven will. When you subscribe, you're not joining a platform, you're joining a fellowship, a circle of souls who have heard heaven's whisper and decided to keep listening together. You become part of a continuous flow of messages that remind the weary that God has not gone silent. Think of this space as a river. Every like, every share, every word poured into it becomes a drop that expands its reach. And rivers, no matter how small at the beginning, always find the sea. Your Father's story was not in vain. His redemption now flows through you. And through you, heaven continues to heal the unseen hearts of others. You are no longer just a receiver of messages, you are a messenger. The same grace that found you in silence now speaks through you into the noise of this world. So let this not end here. Let it move. Let it breathe. Let it travel from your heart to another. Because love, once spoken, never returns empty. You have become a reflection of heaven, a walking, breathing testimony that light doesn't vanish when the flamekeeper leaves. It spreads. And somewhere, in a realm beyond time, your Father watches that light travel and smiles. Knowing the truth he once longed to tell you has now reached countless others through you. There are moments in life when the air itself feels charged with eternity, when the natural world seems to pause just long enough for the supernatural to whisper through. You stand within such a moment now. Chosen one, the veil is thin once again, but not for sorrow this time. It is open for revelation. You've walked through memory, forgiveness, and release. You've wept, waited, and listened. And now, heaven prepares to reveal something deeper, the truth your Father has been yearning for you to know all along. His final message is not about the past. It's about who you've become and who you are destined to be. The Spirit stirs around you. You feel warmth gather at your chest. The kind that isn't physical but soul deep. It feels like the weight of love itself. You close your eyes. And suddenly, you are not in your room anymore. You are standing in light. It's not a light that blinds, but one that knows. You don't need to see your Father to know he's there. You simply feel him. His voice arrives softer than ever before, no longer strained, no longer pleading. It carries clarity, peace, and pride. Child, he says, you have walked through the valley and come out shining. You didn't just survive, you became. Those words sink like roots into your spirit. You understand now what heaven has been building within you all along. Your pain was the forge, your faith was the fire, your healing was the gold that emerged. Every step you took through the storm refined you, until what remained was nothing short of divine strength. He continues, you were never meant to carry my shadow, you were meant to carry my light. You took what was broken in me and turned it into blessing. You became the answer to prayers I didn't know how to speak. You are my redemption, living and breathing. Tears fall. But they are not heavy this time. They are light like drops of release, of recognition. You've heard many words from heaven throughout this journey, but these feel like a seal, a completion. The ancient truth echoes through your heart from the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 1. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. It feels as though heaven itself is saying it to you right now. Arise. The season of mourning is finished. The time for purpose has begun. The glow you feel is not just peace, it's calling. The same glory that now surrounds your Father has touched you. You've been marked, anointed, prepared. Your Father's message grows stronger, woven with divine rhythm. You are not only my child, you are heaven's chosen one. What began with me must continue through you. There are lives you will touch, hearts you will lift, and light you will carry into places I never could. That is my legacy fulfilled in you. No, the sound of those words hums like a heartbeat through eternity. You understand now that this connection was never about reopening wounds, it was about passing the mantle. Every generation has one who is chosen to restore what was lost, to heal what was broken, to redeem what was forgotten. That one is you. The air thickens with presence. You feel your Father's hand not as flesh, but as warmth rest upon your shoulder. His touch doesn't anchor you, it releases you. It feels like a blessing, like the weight of love pressed gently into your soul. Go forward, he says, and carry peace as your armor, truth as your voice, and compassion as your crown. Do not fear what is ahead, for heaven walks with you. Every time you love, I live again. Every time you choose grace, Iriza again. And every time you stand in faith, our story continues. Now, the light begins to expand. It fills the space until all you see is brightness. And then, like mist at dawn, it begins to fade, but not with sadness. Only fulfillment. You can feel him smiling, proud, free, complete. The final trace of his voice lingers like music. I love you. Always. You are ready now. No, when the light withdraws, you find yourself back where you were, your room, your world, your life. But nothing feels the same. The air feels richer, the silence more alive. You know something eternal has just closed its circle. Heaven has spoken its final word through your Father, and it has taken root in your spirit. The night after that encounter feels different than any before. There is no weight pressing on your chest, no ache hiding beneath the quiet. You lie still, eyes open, heart full, and for the first time since everything began, you understand the word peace. It is not something you chase anymore. It has found you. It lives here now, settled in the marrow of your being, like light buried deep in the earth, glowing softly but eternally. The world outside remains the same, trees swaying in the wind, distant hums of life, but you perceive it differently. Every sound feels softer. Every moment feels like a gentle conversation between heaven and earth. You are no longer separate from the sacred. You have become part of it. You rise before dawn. The sky is still dark, but on the horizon, a faint gold begins to shimmer. That line of light feels symbolic. It mirrors what's happening inside you. After the longest night, the smallest glow of morning is enough to prove that the sun never truly left. It was simply waiting for the right time to return. Heaven's words still echo gently through your memory. From the book of John, chapter 16, verse 22. So with you, now is your time of grief. But I will see you again, and you will rejoice, and no one will take away your joy. That truth blooms inside you now. The grief that once hollowed you has become the soil where joy has taken root. What once felt stolen has been restored in a way the world cannot comprehend. You have not lost your Father. You have found him again in the one place death cannot touch within light. You step outside into the cool air. The ground beneath your feet feels alive, as though heaven itself has kissed the earth while you slept. The wind brushes your hair like a familiar hand, and you smile because you know he is not gone, he is simply home. You whisper softly into the morning, not to summon him, but to bless him. Rest well. Dad, I understand now. The words drift upward, carried by a wind that feels like reply, a breeze warm enough to feel like love. This moment is not sorrowful, it is sacred. You've walked from mourning into revelation, and revelation always ends in worship. Not the loud kind, but the quiet kind, the worship of still hearts and peaceful souls who have seen too much to ever doubt again. You begin to move through your day differently. You find joy in small things, a cup of water, the rhythm of your footsteps, the laughter of a stranger. Everything feels holy because you finally see God everywhere. You realize now that heaven is not far away, it hums beneath everything that breathes. People notice something about you. Though they can't explain it, they sense peace in your voice, depth in your eyes. You've become what your father wanted to be, a carrier of calm, a vessel of compassion, a living testimony of how love transcends even the greatest separation. And in quiet moments, you sense heaven watching, not as an audience, but as a family, your father among them, rejoicing that you found your way. There is no grand ending, no flashing light, no final vision, only stillness, only gratitude, only the knowledge that everything is in its rightful place. You sit by the window that evening, watching the sky fade into gold and violet. The same light that once revealed his presence now feels like his farewell, gentle, satisfied, whole. And as the first stars appear, you whisper one last time, "Thank you." You know this is not goodbye. It never was. Death was just a doorway, and love was the key. You walked through it without realizing, and now you stand in a place where heaven and earth meet quietly in your heart. The story that began with loss has ended with life. The message that began with sorrow has become song. You are no longer waiting for heaven to speak. You are living as proof that it already has. And as the night settles once more, the air glows faintly, not with visions or voices, but with presence, His love, God's grace, your peace, all interwoven, eternal, unbreakable. You close your eyes. The world is silent. Heaven is not. Chosen one. Take a deep breath. Let the stillness you feel right now remind you that you've reached the end of this journey, but not the end of your story. What began as a message from your Father's heart has become a revelation from heaven itself. You have walked through pain, received peace, and now you carry purpose. Heaven never wastes a story, and yours will not return empty. You are living proof that love survives loss, that faith endures darkness, and that even through silence, God still speaks. The same light that guided your father home now rests upon you, calling you to walk boldly, to love deeply, and to live fully. If this message has touched you, if somewhere within these words you felt heaven whisper to your heart, let that light move outward, like this message, not for vanity, but as a candle placed in the window of the night. Share it, not to spread a story, but to spread peace. Let it reach someone who still stands in the shadows you once knew. And when you leave a comment, let it be a testimony. Write what spoke to you. Write what healed, because your words may be the exact balm heaven uses to reach another broken soul. If you haven't yet, subscribe so that when the next divine message flows, you'll be here to receive it with open hands. Together, we are more than listeners, we are light bearers. Each act of engagement is not just a digital gesture, it's a ripple of grace moving through the world. Your Father's message found you for a reason. Now, Let it find someone else through you. Carry the peace forward. Chosen one. Let the light keep traveling.